What's up, everybody? I'm really excited because today I'm checking out a bunch of stuff from the latest 1.4 Arknights Endfield patch. The Arknights Endfield 1.4 version update is now currently out, and you can experience it for yourself. You can check out the new character Arcane, and 1.4 brings a vast new map landscape with Yinglung Pass and the North Wuling extraction zone. I haven't had time to play it myself, to be honest, but musically, I'm always pretty delighted with what I hear, whether it's from Arknights or Arknights Endfield. And today we're going to be checking out Arcane's song, the EP, a little bit of gameplay music, showcasing some ambient dynamic music from wandering and exploring into battle music, and then of course that incredible final boss of the patch. Let's dive into it, shall we? Thank you very much to Arknights Endfield for sponsoring this. I really love when companies understand and appreciate and value what the music does for their particular games. And so when I saw that this was a sponsorship specifically talking about the music within the experience and out, I really was heartened. It's awesome when people and companies recognize that their music is actually a fundamental and important part of that gameplay experience. So thank you very much for sponsoring this video. So next we're going to be checking out the Arcane character EP. I have experienced what Arcane is like in the gameplay, but now I want to hear how they chose to characterize her through the music itself.
Remember colors of evergreen, the cherished and surrounding us.
Drum and bass is so cool. Such a subtle build-up and climax, because we're... You know, at this point, I really feel like the team with Arknights and Arknights Endfield are musicians and magicians, and the people that they recruit and have composed for these games are really just like bar none. I think one of the most amazing things to me about this particular EP, and I think all EPs do this really well, but this one's really satisfying and really fun to listen to because it has this wonderful momentum attached to it. It also just, listen to how beautifully it kind of starts very quietly. It's sleepy, it's tired, it's sensitive, it's soft. And then as we wake up, that's when we prime ourselves into action, and then that's when the lyrics start. And the thing is, like, there's a sweetness in it, there's an elegance, there's lightness, there's this feeling of that whispered, hummed, quiet tone. It could have been anything, but they choose to lean into this sound of essentially an invitation of rest. It puts us in a situation of feeling like we're immersed in a space and in a tranquil space. Right? That music is there very gentle. It's quiet. It's not loud. It's not overbearing. And now it does pick up in that steam right where I started this, listening to this, right? It picks up in steam. It picks up in momentum. And then we thrust ourselves into a drum and bass or whatever pattern it is, into that action. But the thing is it's about awakening up to a future. It's an awakening up to ideals. It's waking up to ideas. It's waking up to taking action. It's waking up into navigating a conflict. It's waking up into being confident. And I love how really with Arcane here, we get this beautiful arc where it's sensitive, it's emotional, it's feminine, and then it boosts and bolsters itself into taking action and asserting itself. And it does so extremely beautifully. And it's very, very, very nice. I really like this synthetic electronic quality to this sound. Now, Endfield does have a bit of this like sci-fi tech thing that really balances itself out pretty much throughout its soundtrack. But in this particular case, I love that sound. It's very, very, very nice. Now we're going to be checking out some of the overworld music and dynamic changes between field music and battle music. I purposefully muted in-game character voice lines and combat sounds so that I could actually hear the music better, so that we could have a more clean experience. Wow. That's gorgeous. It's a sound of awakening. That beautiful, it's very methodical, right? And it's almost like the construction here, the production of these masks. I love how it's this like pseudo scientific sci-fi. I think because Paralica's there's a piano essence in it, which I think brings softness and gentility. But then obviously with the chanting there, that was really effective, I think, at making it feel like you're in a new world. Like things are being revealed. There's a shedding of what you think you know, so on and so forth.
Beyond me, the ether keeps restoring Ardashir's body. He can't be truly killed.
Again, this fusion of modern Chinese instrumentation mixed with the stunning hand-drawn visuals, the modern beat. Look at this. This is amazing. The modern beat mixed with the traditional Chinese instrumentation will never not be interesting to me. I think it's such a clever way of
take me to the end.
binding culture and binding I mean, I love it. I love it even when we do it with classical music, with EDM or with rap or whatever. I'll never get over how beautiful this game looks. The character design and the way that
the very large rift is increasing.
These characters look is just insane to me. It's one of the most beautiful, just style of this game that exists right now. I mean, it's really unbelievable. Beautiful shading. Arcane is gorgeous. I like here as we're making our way to Yinglung Pass. There's a sense of urgency and a sense of doom. We don't quite know what we're gonna get our hands in. We don't know what to expect. And so naturally this music has tension laden throughout it. Wow. Oh my god. So, I mean, using chorus and the wonderful soft vocals there is a wonderful contrast, because you have the strong emphasis in the chorus. Saraya. Mixed with the very gentle vocals. That's really beautiful. That just feels like we're marching towards our next step. We're marching towards this beautiful place, you know, this place steeped in technology, but also in power, right? A defensive area, because again, we're connecting with the percussion and the drums, and you have a little bit of, oh wow. The quarantine line of the exclusion zone, the bastion of Wuling, Yinglung Pass. Again, it has that somewhat brightness. Wow. Mixed in with this wonderful sense of reverence, but it's done with modern instrumentation, which gives it this heavy feeling. And in a way, too, it feels cavernous in and of itself. It feels like it goes on for miles and miles, which this one kind of does if you think about how tall these buildings are and so on and so forth. But the vocals mixed in with the instrumentals are a really nice touch because they're not really necessary, and yet they derive this wonderful sense of majesty in it. And then too, you have the beautiful sopranos kind of sliding down, which I think this is extremely evocative music. You know, the history of Arknights will show you that there's a lot of music in this game that has a lot of richness and texture and a lot of just really well done stuff musically. They don't skimp out on music, and it's an important part of their games. Notice too how the instant we launch into combat here, yeah, we get this like, you know, I mean EDM basically, which is really, really, really fun to listen to. You know, not melodic, but it's weighty. And I appreciate the occasional instrumentation in there, or the guzheng or the sanchuan or whatever it may be. And then it actually picks up the longer we take in combat, the more it develops, which is great. So it doesn't just stay stagnant. But it's cool because what we were hearing before was in fact a slower version of this. That's actually such a banger. I would listen to this at the gym, no problem. That excellent flute in there. So they evaporate, and notice that as they're evaporating, you get that piano riff in there. Almost like this butterfly is saintly or protective. Whoa. And notice that as the dragon popped up and landed over top, the music shifted. Protective force. Wow. Is this a character? Yeah. Okay, wow, beautiful. I mean, simply stunning. And the way that we had that female vocal lead into that is why I assumed it was a female dragon. But also note the mystery in this sound. Wow, she's stunning. The black aesthetic. Do you notice too how everything muffled while they were looking at each other? Interestingly enough, as we go down to interrogate Ardashir, we come face to face with, you know, an enemy. Notice how the music immediately shifts away from that, and what we get is instead this stillness. Notice that crunch in that electronic line there. And the electric guitar is excellent. It's very good. Here's a character that knows what's going on. He knows that he's playing a game that is much more complicated than anyone actually fully realizes. He's in complete control of the situation, even though he's the one behind bars. It's very focused and mechanical and specific. See, she even says, I'm the one asking questions, but he's the one that is in control. And poised and focused. Okay, so now we're starting a ritual. Again, the fusion here is just really the thing that's such a standout to me. And this isn't even anything crazy. I appreciate that there's also a mixture of sci-fi in this. This particular sound, the undulation there. But to me, this is a sound of progress. It's like the sound of achieving something. It's the sound of, you know, what happens when you advance the technology. All right, now we're going to shift into battle. And it picks up right away. What I appreciate about this is its subtlety, though, because it's not in your face. Like, it obviously has danger laid within it. Oh my god. No! Oh, that was about to be so cool. Again, we were about to have some chant there, which is always really evocative. And I think, again, something that I never get tired of listening to, this primality in chanted music like that, and it ends up being so soulful, and again, just unique, different than what we're used to, which I think adds a layer of excitement when you hear music that it's you know, that's sort of unnatural to our, I suppose, our Western ears, right? And I think this battle music is a prime example of why beat patterns are so important in battle music. It doesn't need melody, but it does need a very good beat pattern in order to feel, I think, compelling and make you feel like you're pushing beyond yourself and moving into a new sort of like perspective in your life. Like, I know that sounds really cheesy and silly, but at the same time, like, you know, battle music is supposed to encourage, you know, moving towards something, moving towards challenge, moving towards adversity, moving towards, you know, potential, and so on and so forth, and it does a great job. We'll hear more of it in a second. So it starts out with a really straight beat, doesn't really do much there, and then instantly we kick in, well, it's already over, but bam bam da 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 ba da da dum da 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 ba da da dum. And I think that's great. I do think it's pretty simple, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. I also think, like, gameplay wise, this is pretty interesting because we're following this, you know, this ink smoke trail. There we go. See how it has that straight line there musically? Wow. And then we get into the trap trance style here. Sick character, by the way. But it's still kind of subtle. Like, it doesn't lay itself out in your face. Like, it doesn't feel like it's There's the chant that I was looking for. Very cool. Feels very badass. Makes you feel like you're strong. No, I need like 15 more minutes of that, I'm sorry. And this is interesting too, as we move to the third altar. Musically, it's actually a little bit heavier here. You see how we get a little bit more of a beat pattern? Man, I'm really enjoying this particular battle music. I can't figure out what culture this sound exists within, but I find it very intoxicating. And I think having the flute to kind of end it with the button there is really nice. Okay, so now that we're defending, this is actually interesting. So the music has changed. Similar to what we were hearing before in the regular battle theme, it's not in your face, and I actually think it's to its advantage because it's kind of subtle. It has a real poise in it that I think is kind of impressive to listen to. A slight synthwave? Well, that's interesting. Like, it's about continuing on and continuing to go and move through. Actually, it's actually gorgeous. Like, that's really fun. The synthwave is really a surprise, actually. And I think it really highlights, like, our character's strengths and, you know, how important this moment is. And how we need to, you know, do whatever we can to protect it. Also, then you get that crunch and that womp womp, which I think is so incredibly effective at making us feel like we're in control. But if you notice, whenever the characters use their ultimates with this music, it makes them really feel and sound like badasses, which I think is exactly the point, right? Like, you can't help but be like, wow, they're so cool. And then even there, listen to this. Like, it sounds like some triplet slowdown, which is excellent. Well, it's like a artificial slowdown, right? And then it moves back in. And so I think, like, too, like, you'll notice that the fight is long. Like, this is going on and on and on and on. And it's done in a way where you don't feel, like, taxed or exhausted by the ever-present focus on the music. Like, it really is more heroic than it is tense. This is the final wave, I assume. And so the push here can't be understated. It's a very good push. It's a very heroic, like, I believe in you, push to do what you can sound. All right. Oh, cool. Wow, all right. Unexpected violin here. Now, this is very charming, isn't it? Serge says that she'll handle the mobs and you focus on the big one. And so I think this music actually represents her help. It does, because of the vocals, which is the vocals we heard when we first encountered her. So, like a prime example of a really nice leitmotif there. She's a badass, you know? She won't take any crap. And she's got our backs, which feels really good. And musically, it makes us feel like we're supported and looked after. Pardon my playing here. Nice. We have some fiddling with melody and rhythm. Oh, and then we get some Arhu in there. Really enjoying this particular sound, to be honest. The flute's cool. We really don't get that very often. It's nice. Again, not in your face too much. It's very pretty and pleasant and warm. I really like the vocals, though. They really encourage us and support us and feel like they're bolstering us. Nice.
The world became void. A decade of grief and silence.
Not the vocals. Holy hell. Broken, destroyed, demolished. A world on the brink of destruction. Listen to that. It's like an alarm going off. It feels like it's choking you, you know? Suppressing you. The spoken dialogue in front, absolutely gorgeous, very evocative. It's the weeping wound in every Wulinger's heart. This place here. And you can hear that almost desperation in there. And lastly, let's check out this incredible boss theme. I love that this has a ticking clock sound, very subtle, but it feels like we're marching towards a destiny and towards a moment. Distortion. It's beckoning forth something. It's inviting something. It's pulling it out, not necessarily in a good way. I want you on your knees. Wow, insane visuals there. Love the whispered, hushed, breathy quality in that. This is something that has complete control. Imposing force. Dominant. Very religious undertones here with this visual, or at least the Greek statue. The whispering is phenomenal. Jesus. Look how important that is. I'm not going to talk too well. I'm talking a lot during it, and unfortunately, that's just how it's going to go because it's pretty long, and I want to listen to as much of it as possible. Crywolf and Amir really delivering on something here. Crywolf, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Crywolf's work and Arknights, and this is no different. But listen to how it's very quiet, and then he says, "I want you on your knees," and look what happens. The music shifts. This is why music is important. Boom. We have a huge shift once the statue plops itself, poises itself onto the ground, a slow look up, we pull back in sound, gets quiet. How long in this exile has been as I gaze upon my maker's fate. Here comes this chorus. Note that stillness there. The Maker refuses to give up their throne and give up to Terra and return to their throne. This angers this being. Sword cracks. Same motivic writing as I Want You on Your Knees. This is incredible. This is visually stunning. Behold, my blade shall still be turned onto thee then. Pray forgive my transgressions. Alleikhreos. Oh my god, I have goosebumps. Oh my god, my whole body. Wow, unbelievable. This is shocking. Oh my god, that is so good. I need to take a break. I don't know why that affected me the way it did. I had a primal reaction to that, and my entire body stood on end there. Shoot. I think first of all, just the aura, the majesty of this incredible sense of grandeur. I think the colorization of this character, the white with the blue, the sword, the black. There's this real Roman Greek aesthetic here, of course, the eyes covering the face, and this is, so I see no evil, speak no evil. But there's something about this where he says, pray, forgive my transgressions. There's poise in that, there's elegance, there's ferocity. The children's choir, or the female choir, probably children's choir, in this chant, one of the things that Crywolf and Amir, certainly Crywolf, does exceptionally well is tying into this religious overtone with a modern approach to electronic music and EDM that I find absolutely ravishing. It's not the first time I've heard this particular sound from Crywolf, and it leaves me totally speechless because it is the kind of thing that I love hearing. I love hearing an evolution of something, especially something as old as classical music and liturgical chant and singing. When I say liturgical, I mean religious. I have much experience, not a lot of experience, but much experience with religious text and religious singing. It's a cornerstone of classical music. It's a cornerstone of how a lot of these guys in the old days, like Bach and Mozart, would make their money, was writing for the church. And so to take it, twist it, turn it, make it devious, make it malicious, that is a profound sound, I think, and it's antithetical to what it's supposed to be, which makes it so much more interesting, so much more fun. There's an inherent passion and distress that comes over you when you listen to this, because it's not what it's supposed to be. Intrinsically, there's some sort of calming presence, I think, when we listen to music in a religious setting, or religious music in general, and to take it and twist it and give it that extra, it elicits a very, very raw feeling in me. It's very primal, and I literally, that was actually almost overwhelming, which I know this is a sponsored video, so it sounds fake, but I truly mean it when I say that is so visceral, that is actually overwhelming in the most exciting, and I'm stalling because I'm afraid to listen to it. You probably fast forwarded by now, but we got to watch it again. Listen to that though, it invites it, and then the press, and it distorts. Very short. Holy shit. You squeeze it. That is so overwhelming to listen to. It is incredible. I am trying to think of characterization while listening to it. It is, I can't. I have nothing to say, which is absolutely not what they're paying me for. They're paying me for me to talk about this. It's incredibly difficult to talk about this because it is so visceral. The crunch and the taking the very subtle da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. It's not a big movement. That is visceral. I mean, it's just a minor. It's minor, and it has that crunch in it. And then what's amazing is that then it kind of flattens and it squeezes into itself. It distorts and it becomes very small and compressed. And it's delightful in a very visceral and primal and I have no word. I really don't. I'm so sorry. I have no words to describe this. This is so evocative. Like as a fan of the, and then you get this godforsaken it's visceral. I mean, it's truly otherworldly. Imagine Athena, a Greek statue of Athena coming to life and seeing, people around her, and the instinct of Athena is imbued within that statue. And so that statue automatically, by some magical power, is beholden to seek out vengeance and violence. And it amasses all this power around it and it just unleashes it. And then its maker is there and its maker says, I refuse. I no longer am interested in interacting with you. What would you do if you're built for one thing? It's ungodly is what it is. Oh my God. And then the very subtle writing there vocally. Look at how it expands. Now we add a piano. It enriches its texture. You get beautiful strings in the background with this urgency and desperation in them. And then the muting, and then explosion, I hope. Pull back, please. Oh. The wound releases this unbridled power. It actually cracks through. Everything you think that you just experienced actually triples, quadruples. It expands outward. That's why we have that crazy burn I shall a torch to guide the return of kin. The purpose. Now you get the male vocals and the electric guitar. This is that true power, that true form. That whispering, that's... And then we get some really nice vocals coming in. 10,000 years of silence. So this is the modus operandi. This is the purpose. This is when we start to get actually the internal monologue or the internal dialogue of this Alleikhreos, where we are us, the audience, not us, the characters, are being exposed to what the reality is of this particular character. You know, silenced for 10,000 years, and your master says, "Hey, I don't want anything to do with you. Get out of my sight." What would you do? You'd be furious. And so we still have that momentum and energy of the battle, but now we're also starting to get the modus operandi, the reason for this fight from that perspective, not from our perspective. I shall give you my rage. Very subtle harmony, upper register and middle lower register. That is unreal. Unbelievable. Wow. Like you can't listen. Oh, I can't get over it. It's so freaking good, and I don't know why I'm having this kind of reaction, because it's not like I haven't heard something similar in the past, but that is insanely good. That is, I literally, like, I have no words to describe. Like, I really try to offer value and offer like some sort of insight into what it feels like and why I think that choices are made. And I really feel like this, I'm having such a visceral reaction to it. I think this is the kind of song that you really feel for this character in a way, because here's this boss that comes out of nowhere, and it just is it actually has desperation in it. It's like being abandoned by your father, and it's like, how could you do this to me? How it's a fit of rage. Like, what do you think you're doing? Get your shit together. That's what it feels like. And now we have this black hole. So now we're taking it a step further, because now it's like, this is the end of the road. I have to do something. So now they're throwing everything at this character. But this guy is still incredible. Like, it's like fighting a god. Look at it. Look at the poise. Look at this stature. Oh, shoot. It takes the sword from him. But the confusion here is interesting. This is a heroic moment where everything comes together and we, lock in and get it done. But actually, I feel for, like, this guy's just trying to do his job. And you even hear it in the music. How could you do this? Why did you do this? Why deny us the right of survival? Why disown us the hearth of your own? Look at, unbelievable visuals. My maker only deceived by her. Again, this betrayal is next level. And you hear all of it through music. The upper register singing there. This is peace. This is like, I don't understand why you would do this to us. Why would you do this to me? Right? The upper register singing there. It's just incredible to me. That is absolutely outstanding. I'm legit, like, beside myself with that, because that song has you rooting for the boss. That's spicy. That's interesting. That's a paradigm shift. Paradigm flips are so amazing in games. Frankly, I fell off of Endfield because I don't really like the building mechanic, and really I only have enough time for certain games in my life, and that's why I'm grateful that they come around and they like, hey, we want you to focus on, because the music of Endfield is good, and really, like, it's a visually stunning game, as you saw. Like, there's so many reasons to enjoy Endfield. I just happen to not like the I happen to not like the building. But wow, that's it for me, guys. If you like this, feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to support on patreon.com/MarcoMeatball. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. Bye.